Okay, and welcome to this presentation about the present simple. The present simple is a tense that we use in English to talk about things that happen again and again. I've written that down here so you can see that. Things that happen again and again. And for those of you that are unsure about what a tense is a grammatical term that we use to talk about time, specifically when we're talking about verbs. So it's about when something happened. So we can write that in here. We can see tenses, they're equal to expressions of time. And they affect verbs. So say, for example, I've drawn a little timeline here for you here. If we say in the middle that this is now, and over on the right we've got tomorrow, and to the left we've say got yesterday. Well, if we're talking about what's happening now, we're talking about the present tense. If we talk about what happens tomorrow, we're talking about the future. And if we talk about what happens yesterday, we're talking about the past. And just in this lesson here today, we're talking about what happens now, and that's in the present. So that's why it's called the present simple. So tenses are ways of talking about time and expressing time as an idea. So the present simple is to talk about things that happen again and again. Now the good news is the rule for the present simple is really simple, and it's just this: that for he, she, or it, you add es or s. Now you might be thinking, what do we mean by he, she, or it? Well, then we need to think about verbs and how we work with verbs. And whenever we work with a verb, we conjugate the verb. And we do that really by talking about how the verb looks with different subject pronouns. And you might remember that pronouns or subject pronouns replace nouns. So for example, if we take the sentence, Paul watches TV, we can replace Paul with the subject pronoun he. So I'm just going to write down the subject pronouns here, and these are the same whenever you conjugate a verb. The first one is I, the second one is you, and the third one is he or she or it. And I'm going to draw a line here, and then I'm going to write the fourth, which is we, and then the fifth, which is you, and then the final one, which is they. And the reason I drew the line here is the ones above the line, I, you, he, she, or it, these are all singular. And the ones below the line, we, you, or they, they're all plural. So you'll understand what I mean now. If I say, for example, I walk to school, you walk to school. Well, when we come to he, she, or it, we're going to say he, she, or it walks to school. We walk to school. You walk to school. And they walk to school. So you can see again that he, she, or it takes an S. So this is the rule. And the present simple is to talk about things that happen again and again. And you can think of it as something that's happening now, if you like. So we can take an example. Let's take the example, I'll do this in blue. Let's take the example now, I watch TV. It's something that I do every day. If we take the example here, she likes swimming. Well, then you can see that she likes has taken an S. The infinitive of the verb is like, but she's taken an S because it's she, and that goes along with our rule here. And finally, let's take they play football. Well, then you can see here as well that play, you don't add any S there because play, we don't add an S or an ES for the present simple with they. It's only when we say he, she, or it. So just to recap then, the present simple is to talk about things that happen again and again. And it's a tense, which in a tense is a way to talk about time when we're talking about verbs. And this tense normally talks about things that are happening now or things that happen again and again. And the rule is that if you're using he, she, or it, you add an ES or S.